You know I'm
What
rolling.
up? What up? What up? What the deal? It's your boy Joe Chapo back in the building. If you only knew. All right. We got a banger. I don't know if we want to consider this a part two or if we're gonna make this just this video on its own, man. But we're gonna piggyback off the last video we did, Jermaine. Like, mental illness. I know in your video we kind of touched on both mental illness and autism. But on this one here, I think we're gonna focus a little bit more on mental illness and in the younger community, the hip hop community, the hood, to help try to break the stigma of people that think they too cool to get help. But before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tongue tie. Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Light, aka Gangster Light, aka just man, man. You know what I'm saying?
White.
Yo, what up, yo? This is White, aka I'll slap you, aka say it again, nigga.
This motherfucker got anger issues, yo. All right, man. So, the video me and you did, man. You kind of went in. Actually, go ahead, give me just a brief synopsis of what happened, if that's the right word, whatever. Of kind of what we discussed in the last video.
Yeah, we kind of just touched about like me growing up, man, and going through the mental changes, man. It's like in stages. So we kind of try to attack each stage, whatever year we tried, we was talking about around that age. We was trying to like give like how it can escalate into you get into your when you get older, you know.
So if we had to put a label on it, what would you be considered
Like what you mean?
as far as the mental illness?
Like for myself?
Yes.
Like what's my diagnosis? You mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm bipolar depression. I got PTSD, anger. That had like a learning disability when I was younger. Bad stuff, and I used to stutter real bad, man. I can sometimes I still do it now. Like when I get too hype, I
Yeah.
be, you see me. I try my best to control it.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like hood mental, man. Like the way they're being out there in the streets could be tough too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So and then white, yours is
Yeah,
kind of different. You're coming from a different angle. Got to tell us, briefly what your angle is on this issue.
I mean, it's just coming and having like family members that had bipolar, and you didn't notice the signs until we was young. So everybody seemed the same when you're young, and it's like we all crazy when you're young. But when you get
Hmm.
older and you see somebody's not progressing a little bit, and you're like, what's going on? Why is this person always acting like this? And as minorities, we don't think it's a problem, We just think this
Yeah.
thing they acting stupid, or
Hmm.
she trying to burn bridges because of what? But that's not the case. They got
Exactly.
other stuff going on, like serious stuff. And then when you get older and you find out, you're like, oh, you start putting the pieces together. Oh, this is why that happened, and this is why this happened.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of people that don't even know they have mental issues. There's people
I
that
mean,
scared to discuss it. They feel
and
they're
I
gonna
remember
get
I used
picked
to say I
on.
know we had PTSD, and I know we all have it. I know I have it because I ain't gonna say no names, but I would say like what a year and a half ago, I was out in a club chilling with two people, and they got shot in front of me. Rest in peace to both of them, and they died. And it didn't affect me, I mean, I didn't go out for 1 month, but after that, I was back at the same spots doing the same things. So that's got to be a form of PTSD. Like,
Yeah.
why the hell was I still hanging out doing
Okay.
the same shit after this shit just happened?
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah, but
stuff
that's
think
like
normal. Yeah.
just being raised the way we were raised in the environment that we was raised in, I think we just became numb to certain circumstances and certain situations. Like even death, like you said, like I could say I'm sorry for your loss. You know what I'm saying? I could, go and support you. But in my mind of minds, I don't really feel any sadness anymore. It's like I got a wall for, losing my parents and people close to us. It's like it's just coldness. I hate to say it. It's,
it took me a while to cry for Mel when Mel died. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was my guy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It took a long time, and I didn't know why, but it did.
Yeah.
So
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 so so so so so so what about when Tremaine passed away?
Maine died. That was different. I think that was like the back burner for me. Like, that it was real. That it changed. It kind of changed who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like I was starting rapping and I was becoming a, I was like 19 or something like that, becoming a man and shit. So we was out in Atlanta and we kind of was becoming our own person. So to go back to New York and for that to happen, for him to get killed, it kind of changed me. Like I stopped like giving a fuck pretty much. Like, oh well, and then after that, your man D got locked up with 10, and I was like,
and then just like that, you was alone. You grew up with two brothers, having two people around you, and then just like that, you was alone. And
yeah,
in a matter of years too, and like a few years apart, probably, right?
yeah.
Cause D got locked in what 2004, something like that, or three.
I think it was no he got a it was early because he got out
90s,
Yeah,
right?
it was like two no because he did it was
No, because look, we got here in 96. We went up to New York, let's just say roughly 97, because it was June's birthday.
Yeah.
Then, that happened with Maine. So about 98, 99 and max for D.
Yeah. Because I remember he got out when my son turned 3 years old, and my son was born in 2007. So D got out of jail when he was 3.
Yep.
So
I mean,
we had to do the math from that,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, like you said, every one of us in some way, shape, or form, we fucked up from the way we grew up, man. Like,
and
it's
the
a
messed up
tough
part
world,
about
man.
having bipolar is you never know, like the person that has it be burning bridges with people, and there's nobody there that's gonna stand up for that person because you really affecting everybody around you. So it's kind of hard to have that person's back. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, like, to me, I always knew, like, oh shit, this ain't right. It's like taking drugs, and
So did you
if you
know
want
from
to
the
help somebody
beginning?
get drugs,
Did you know from the beginning this person suffered from illness, or
I knew
slowly you
this
started to
person,
realize?
yeah, their parents had it, so I knew it was a high chance that they had it.
Hereditary.
You know what I'm saying? So once I figured it out, like when the person was trying to kill themselves and stuff, I was like, oh, this is not normal because who would try to kill themselves?
Yeah.
So it got real for me. And then everybody around me is like, yo, leave that person alone. And I'm like, well, you don't, unless you're going to leave somebody, like if your mom's had a drug problem, you're going to leave her alone, or leave your cousin got a drug problem. Like, because mental, that help, that shit is real. It's not fake,
Yeah. And it's not like they could control it.
Is that
Like
the
they're
main part?
choosing to burn these bridges, or they're choosing to act the way they are. It's just out of their control.
That was my biggest issue with people saying leave that person alone, because I'm like, it's not like they choosing to act like this.
So, May, when you hear this, how does that make you feel? Because you're on the other end of this. Like, you said your wife was a big rock.
So like I said yesterday, like the one of the triggers, you have to be mindful of the others that surround you. So that would be like Dewey, for instance. You got to be mindful because you will burn the bridge. You understand what I'm saying? I think, a lot of times if you know you can't control it, you should expect that you're gonna be burning bridges. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be ready to deal with that, to understand, because a lot of people is not the typical person in their 20s or 30s, even in their 40s, man, just in general, they're not going to understand it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like with death, like if you didn't experience death close to you, when people around you die, it's just like, you're not even going to shed a tear until it happens to you. Then you understand. You be like, oh, damn, man. Like, I was like that too, because, I got a small family. So when it's funny, actually, my grandma just passed away today. She was going to reach 100 years old. She's going to reach 100 years old in a few months. So it's funny because my father passed away a year ago next week, and she died today. So it'd have been a year next week. So it's like, but like I had a small, it's cool. I had a small family, so I didn't experience death at all. So I had people around me. The one death that obviously affected me was Tremaine, obviously. Because it was my childhood buddy, and like I always to this day I still kind of feel like I played a part, even though I wasn't around. But by me doing the things that I did throughout my life, people will always hold a grudge. You know what I'm saying? Like just knowing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just saying, yeah, I know them niggas like, you know, just still.
But that's not your way to. That's not your way to
I
prepare,
know, but
man.
that's what I was thinking, especially because I was locked up when it happened. So it's like, you know, nigga, if I was out, nigga, you know, nigga, only thing I had to do is went down there and and you know what I'm saying, like it
But you,
handle
but you got to
time.
look at it like this. That could have been 2 people laying on that floor, man.
Well, three niggas, because if
Everything,
we was
three
there, we
people,
all would
five
have been
people, 6 people.
or something, or we would have killed niggas and or vice versa. You
Yeah.
know, like
You
Like
know, but
every point of that played out. I mean, I hate to say it the way it was supposed to play out. Everything is predetermined. This is,
I
I
don't know,
mean,
but anyway, I don't want to comment
yeah,
because,
yeah, yeah.
but you know, for me, that was the only real like death that was close to me that affected me into I lost my first, my other grandmother, and then once I lost, you know, my pops, man, that's when like, you know, it kind of hit home now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be really like trying to be my mom's and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And like you explained in the last video, that kind of overwhelmed you and caused you to have an
yes,
issue.
bipolar depression. Like
Yeah.
because like I said, the science was there, but with bipolar depression, what happens with that is that when you get depressed, that's when it comes out. So like with a lot of women, you know, when they have a baby, when they're young, you know, they
Postpartum.
can't go out with their friends, especially in the day and age now with social media. They see all their friends in the club and they like 19 or 20 in the house with a baby, wishing they could go out, but they can't. So they spend a lot of their years growing up taking care of child, but there's nothing wrong with it, you know, but not everybody is built because when they get older, it affects them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So with women, you know, especially women, when they get depressed, you know, with men too, I'm not saying that, but with women, when like, they have kids or, you know, they get depressed. And like for me, whenever I got depressed, that's when it came out. Like when there was just too much pressure. Like I was able to handle it on a daily to daily basis, but when you start adding too many different type of things on my plate, that was just too much for my plate to handle, man.
Well, let's
You know
let's
what I'm
kind of
saying?
touch on that, White. Do you think with this person once they had a child, do you think it kind of went it
no, it went
increased?
super. It will like like what Jermaine was saying. Like the depression is the biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
so, once the kid came into play, it was it was like
Postpartum?
postpartum depression on top of that shit, and it made it 10 times worse. And it was like from there, it was no saving that person because once
Yeah.
that shit kicked in, it was a wrap, yo. And you know what I'm saying? It was like the worst thing you can imagine me knowing somebody like half their life, and then from there, they're totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
100% different. It's like this can't be the same person, but it really is.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
hear that it's hereditary. I mean, I definitely got to do the research on it, and that it just clicks in out of nowhere. Like, it just one day the switch is turned.
Yeah.
May, I mean, you agree with that, man? You feel like just one day
Like,
it
yeah,
happened, or
I mean, just talking about it now, man, it kind of gets me emotional because that shit, it just, yo, it be out of nowhere. Like, everything be good, man. Like,
yeah,
everything just be going well, yo. And it just like, yo, just one thing can just ruin, yo, just ruins or just, yo, and it doesn't stop. Like, with bipolar people, like, they don't stop. Yo, keep on saying the same thing over and over because they trying to get their point across and they feel like nobody's listening because maybe they see the person's body language and they act, and then they just go more intense, like you're not listening to me, and they'll keep saying the same thing. And like as Dewey's like that shit is like just always like just so real. Like it really like it just happens like that. Like I'd be good, like I could be good right now. And if we get deeper into this conversation, you might just see me start repeating the same thing over and over again. And then you
Yeah.
start seeing me just doing like you start seeing me act different. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
Like yo, Joe, I'm gonna give y'all one example. So it's this one dude that I know. He family to my people and shit, and he like 6'4", Asian dude, dreads. I think you met. I don't know, but he all blooded up, whatever. So he a gang member too. On top of, and he raps. He's nice and shit.
Mm.
But the nigga has bipolar because the nigga be talking like to seeing like mad shit, like think people spying on him and all kind. Like this is what he think, and he always think people talking about him, yo. Always
Ain't
at
that
the
like
time. I don't know about
schizophrenic?
now. So the nigga always thought everybody was talking about him. So imagine going out to the club with somebody that think everybody's talking about them. The nigga just attacked this random dude and started punching him in the face, yo.
See, that's a
And
liability.
and I'm talking about like 30 niggas came out ready to get us. And I knew what was going on. So I grabbed the nigga up and I was like, yo, before y'all niggas try to jump us, I'm gonna fight this nigga, yo. I was like, I'm gonna fight this nigga, big. You know what I'm saying? So me and the nigga was about to scrap or whatever the case, yo. And we had to take the nigga gun from him and everything, because at the time he was thinking niggas was against him. So who knows who he would have shot for no reason.
Damn.
You know, so we took the nigga gun from him, yo. I was like, nah, yo.
So
But
I
it's
go.
stories
I mean,
like
do
that.
you know if he was taking medication at that time or he needed medication?
Yeah, I kind of
He's
fucked
even-
up, yo. I gave, you know,
Yeah.
he took some other medicine that night,
Yeah.
yo. And then that's when everything switched. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was calm, and then
It was a trigger.
yeah,
It was a trigger.
Like you
Yeah.
discussed triggers in the last video.
Triggers,
He
man.
Like you said, alcohol is your trigger, right?
Yeah, like yo, just think back, even with y'all, just think back to when we was kids and how, even though, right, we sit back and we laugh how we fought, but think back to how sensitive I used to be. Even
Yeah.
though if y'all wasn't even talking about me, right? I'm like, what you talking about? Like I used to be like that growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Like when
I
you were
remember.
saying that, I was thinking, I'm like, yo, I used to do that same, like not now. It's different
Yeah.
for me now, but when I was younger, especially like in jail, like I think a nigga talking about me like, "Yo, what?" Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's just
your defense is a little bit more aggressive than anybody else's. Like something that other kids would take as a joke, you was like, I'm ready to fight. You know what I'm saying?
because
That's
I
how
couldn't
you was,
snap.
man.
Because I couldn't snap. I had like a dry personality. Like when we used to snap, y'all niggas used to eat me. And
Yeah,
then what I used to do, I used to say one joke, and then when I see
Ready
anybody
to
think the
body
person
slam us
not
on the fucking
laughing,
car and shit.
yeah, and then I'll start getting mad, and then I should just want to fight. You know, that's not normal. Even though we thought that was normal,
Yeah.
but you should
Yeah.
be able to verbally say something to somebody without the other person responding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depending on what you're saying, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but if it's a laughing, joking matter, that's not they're not trying to harm you. You know what I'm saying? They just having fun. They telling jokes. So why should I be the one wanting to get physical all the time?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true though, man. Like, you know, like we didn't understand a lot of stuff. I be telling Joe now, like as a kid, we had so much shit going on that adults deal with. And this is why we kind of grew up different from this generation now, because we kind of took a lot of shit on our own without our parents not helping us. We had to do a lot of shit on our own.
Nigga, we was going shopping at 10 years old, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was going to the Con place on Fornham and Concourse at like 11, and we used to walk there, and I used to go and pay my mom's bill.
You see?
Yeah.
Imagine that shit. I can't even imagine sending my 12-year-old son to anywhere, yet alone like all the shit we was doing at that young age, man. We was doing adult shit. We was taking care of adult responsibilities and didn't even know it.
Yep.
You know? It was just the way of living, yo.
Yep.
Oh man, it's so funny, you know.
True,
Like
man.
as adults, we can understand it. And as kids, we made fun of it.
Yeah.
We made
I
life
was telling Joe, I was like, yo.
experiences, man. Life experiences,
Yeah.
man.
But
Well,
you
we
know,
don't know when you're an adult, something ain't right.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, but you also still got to go back into your family history just to make sure, because I have a relative,
Yeah.
I have a relative that been in a mental institution all her life, and she's like 70 something. You know what I'm saying? So so there is some in my family. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's a shame that when we was growing up, there wasn't that help that there is now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who just say I would even went to prison? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I would have been able to think about all of y'all right? But I'm the only one that just kept on. Yo, like jail to me
But
was
you was,
normal.
I want to throw it out there like that, but you was like the first out of us to bust your gun. Like you was showing us like some hood shit at a younger age, and we respected it because we needed that at the time. I always tell people this shit. Whatever you did, man, when you was growing up, we kind of needed it, you know, to solidify who the fuck we was gonna be, you know, because we was always holding it down, but we never had niggas that was like, fuck it, give me the strap, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you was that
I
nigga. Like
know.
I'm gonna handle this, nigga.
This shit
At
is
the
fun.
time, nigga, you know. So
Yeah, I know, man. But then you pay for it when you get older, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like like that shit. I got mad arrests, man. Like you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, dude, I used to love playing football, man. Like I used to love playing sports, man. Like I used to love to swim. You know what I'm saying? Like and that jail shit, dude. That shit just stopped a lot of shit for me, man.
But
You know
we
what I'm
didn't have
saying?
nobody to tell us Well, we had older niggas, but the older niggas was chilling with us and doing whatever we was doing,
Yeah.
playing football and selling drugs and doing everything. So we didn't have our parents, you know, like I grew up with two good parents, but I always tell them to this day, like y'all wasn't out there. You know how much dumb shit we did growing up? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We had
Yeah.
no guidance. Our only guidance was us.
Yeah.
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 You know,
Yeah.
so I'm like, and that's what I be trying to tell people. Like, yeah, we didn't have no guidance. We didn't have somebody who was like, nah, yeah, you can't do this, or no, you ain't selling drugs on the corner, or no, you ain't doing this. Nah, we learned from our own mistakes. So
And then
now
we
you
became
become
parents,
wiser.
and we had to wing it. So
Yeah, like you 40 something years old now, but reality, you live the life of like a 60, 70-year-old man, yo.
yeah, but
That's the fucking reality of it, yo.
it's a cycle, man. We got to break the cycle. Like our parents did, they probably didn't get any training themselves, and so forth and shit. So it's on us.
Yo,
Like
yo,
we definitely
you
breaking the
know,
cycle right now, just even having this conversation. Just
I tell you this, and a lot of parents, we have to remember this, right? We're in our 40s now. A lot of us 40s and 50s, right? If you're not filthy rich by a certain age, stop trying to reach for that. Reach for a smaller goal.
Yeah,
My motto
oh shit,
is
fucked up.
this: you should be able to have 10 years of savings for your family because
yeah,
it takes about 10 years to get over, a death in the family, especially like a parent, like a father, and like
yeah.
the kid. Like, that's my motto. Like, I'm not thinking about me trying to be rich anymore. It's not about me being rich anymore. It's about having that for my kids. So when I move on, they good for 10, especially with my kids, the special needs. So, and like I said, when I get old, Darlene and Jatik is gonna be old too. Y'all gonna be so who you know what I'm saying? So they're
Man,
gonna have to be able
yeah,
to take care for themselves. So I gotta be able to save them something, you
Yeah.
know, for them. And I think we have to start at home. Like this is how we break the cycle. We talk about it, throw everything on the table. Like see, that's the problem, man. People don't know how to just stop with the ego, man. Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if you cry, let that shit go, man. There's nothing wrong with being into your feelings. Not saying you gotta be a punk and come outside and mush you and like I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
like that. But what I'm saying is that, open up your heart, man. Like I'm telling you, man, a lot of us when we not born gangsters. We not
None.
born, we're babies born. That's it. We're human. We're taught everything. We're taught to whatever preference you
It's
like
all
or this
learned
or that.
behavior.
We all learn behaviors, man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Product of your
saying?
environment, man. Product
Yeah,
of your
man.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely agree, man. Like we need a ego will be the number one thing to hold you down, and
Ego and
So
pride, because look, I try my best to always hang with everybody. And I know people be like, yo, this nigga white always coming. No, I hang with everybody. I try to talk to everybody because I don't want to. If we all family, we all family. Yo, we too. First off, you too old to be acting like we don't know. Like even like when somebody don't call us for years, yo, we like, damn, this nigga ain't calling. But we all got to make the attempt to do it for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because if we grew up with each other and we all got knowledge and we all want our families to, you know, be with each other and stuff, we got to
you
keep
know,
the cycle going, and not on some
you,
negative stuff,
yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you something, man. Right? One of the younger, G's from the hilltop. you know, he came to me and he made a valid point, and I can't even argue with him. He was like, "Yo," he said, "You know, we say we're family, this and that, but yet we didn't leave anything for them to build on."
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You know what
That's
I'm
the
saying?
truth.
And we never broke the cycle because that happened to us.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So when he said that, this was, I think this was the the last time I was at the hospital, doctor, or maybe yesterday. I think it was yesterday, because I seen him yesterday. And he told me that, and you know, at first, you do stuff and but then when I went upstairs, when my mom thought about it, I was like, yo, he's right, man. Like we didn't we're not out there
Yeah.
promoting, like, giving out, like I'm not saying y'all, 'cause I know that y'all don't. I'm saying for
Yeah. Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I'm still in New York. So you know what I'm saying? Like we're
Yeah.
not doing nothing productive for kids. We're not having like a
Yeah.
hilltop day. Like I
Yeah.
think Whip Wop, Whip Wop, he trying. I'll give him that much.
Yeah.
He tried to do his little thing, and I give him all the credit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Hold on, hold on. I
But
don't mean to cut you off. Zoom is about to cut us off and shit, yeah. We
say
got
no
one
more.
minute and change and shit, yeah. They
Nah,
giving me a limit and shit right now, yeah. We
Okay.
definitely need to do a part two. I really
yeah.
appreciate y'all coming on, sharing this. Shout out to
Definitely.
everybody that's been showing love,
Shout out.
man. Let's
I
keep
love
it
y'all,
going,
man.
man. Fuck it. Let's end it with one hand washes the other, both washes the face, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Break the
We gotta.
cycle.
That's the next topic, though. We gotta,
Yeah,
do
we
stuff
definitely
that's
gonna jump into
different from
that,
the
man, because I
the
definitely want
younger
to go
generation.
further. If they didn't have this little time up there just giving me the countdown right now, I would have kept going, yeah. But
Yeah.
we definitely gonna touch on this, man, and do another one, man. Again, I appreciate y'all. Everybody like, subscribe. People are sharing their hearts, their soul. Man, let's
All
keep
right.
it
Yeah.
going, man. Let's
Thank
keep
you,
it
All right,
y'all.
going,
man.
Appreciate
yeah.
y'all.
All right,
If they
man.
only knew,
All
man.
right.
If they only
You
knew.
only know.
Peace.
All right.
Peace.